just like we had discussed hybrid warfare and information warfare in the external dimension, there's also an internal dimension to all of this, where we have social unrest, sometimes even riots being facilitated or sponsored by, across the border, or, just from foreign lands. And then there are sophisticated psychological operations. There are cyber attacks, in fact. How do we as a nation deal with this? I mean, both the government, but also as people. How do we also talk about these things and understand these things and also respond to these challenges?
So I think you have identified one of the biggest sort of internal security threats to our country. I mean, when you ask somebody, what's the biggest internal security challenge, and people will say, oh, it's Jammu and Kashmir, or it is the Northeast, or it's the Maoist problem. Actually, in my view, those areas are easier to handle than, as you said, mass protests, riots that are engineered, uh, disaffection that is created among vast sections of our society, the divisive narrative, that flows on social media. Uh, we say social media has now been weaponized. It's being used as a weapon. Fake news travels much faster than true news. So how do we fight it? And I think one is we need government policies and procedures in place, for example, to deal with cyber attacks and cyber threats. We recently heard that the Indian power sector was targeted by Chinese hackers. So there are policies that need to be put in place. Uh, on the issue of social media, I think some regulation is required for social media platforms. And I know 5 years back, 4 years back, we would all thrown up our hands in horror and said, no, how can the government regulate social media? But I think there is an understanding now that the way social media is being used, a certain amount of regulation is required. Uh, and and I think even the social media technology companies are today accepting that yes, a certain amount of regulation is required, because the self censorship that they were doing is not working too well. That is as far as the government is concerned. I think you raised this important point of what as people can we do. I think we have a great responsibility. We are drowning ourselves in echo chambers. We are only hearing what we want to hear. Uh, we are completely cutting off alternate viewpoints. If somebody gives an alternate viewpoint, we say, this guy is just talking nonsense. So we just want to hear what suits our thought process, what suits our ideology. If you look at social media posts these days, I think they're becoming more and more, vicious, because there is a degree of anonymity, and so people are just saying, just whatever they feel like saying. Uh, we are regularly forwarding, fake news that appeal to us. So as I wrote somewhere, I think what has happened is that as individuals, we have become both the victims of social media. We have also become the weapon, because we are the ones who, forwarding all these messages, and we are spreading, these kind of campaigns. So I think there is great responsibility among the people, and that we need to introspect as to, what should be our social media behavior, what should we do, and I think also a need to educate the younger, people who are now becoming more and more users of the social media. So we have, as people, I think we have great responsibility towards this.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.